You don't really know much about Halloween.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another unboxing video. I am your host Joel. I am one half of the Newlydeads along with my wife Laura. And if you'd like to find out more about us, go to thenewlydeads.com where you can find out all the information about what we do. We are content creators, we are artists, we are bloggers, we are everywhere you want to be. And we are very appreciative that you've come to check out our channel, to check out our videos. Please like and subscribe, specifically subscribe to the channel, like the video if you would prefer as well. We are working to try and build up our base, but we don't do this for the views and things like that. We do this because we love what we do, but it helps our channel out. So please, if you are so inclined, throw us a click on the button. I don't know what I'm saying here because I rarely ask for people to do that. Just don't think about it. Anyway, so on our website, you can find out about, like I said, the other things we do. We do have a half-hour chat show called Dollar Store Drive-In, which is available on these networks. I'll put all the information up in front of you right now. On that show, we take a movie that we have found in the wild somewhere like the Dollar Tree, Goodwill. Sometimes they're sent to us. Sometimes the distributor sends them to us. It's something we've never seen before that's under $5. That is horror, thriller, sci-fi. We watch it, and then we talk about it, and then you get to enjoy the fruits of our labors. Sometimes it can be pretty painful for us to sit through some of these films, and sometimes they're phenomenal. You just never know what's going to come up. We also have the YouTube channel that you're on currently, where you can check out our Sinister Snacks videos, which is kind of our flagship original content that got us kicked off. We also do caffeinated reviews for coffees. We do unboxing videos like this one, and a lot of other content. On our website, you can find our blog, which I write a movie review blog called Cinematorium. Mrs. Newlydead writes a blog called Unearthing Small Business. It's all about small businesses that belong to people that we know or people that have just sent us their information and asked us to kind of review their whatever it is that they're selling, making, etc. Even if you're a store owner, it doesn't matter. We would love to hear from you. Actually, if you would like, you can reach out to us at contact@thenewlydeads.com. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you'd like to be on the Unearthing Small Business blog, you have coffee you'd like us to review, and we also do caffeinated coffee reviews, not movie, on our blog as well. So all of that is on our website, as I mentioned. And so for this video, I have collected a lot of things from various places. So I'm not necessarily going to get into the specifics of where everything has come from, but these are not from any one distributor or from one particular label. This is just a lot of different things from all over the place. So first off, we have Shout Factories or Screen Factories, Cat People from 1982. In this film, a woman who is orphaned from a young age finally reunites with her older brother. Matters start to go haywire when she slowly discovers the true nature of her family. This is a remake. It's directed by Paul Schrader, who did Hardcore, which was on the shelf. Man, that's a movie. And Touch, which recently got a really nice release from one of Vinegar Syndrome's partner labels. If you've not checked it out, it's a beautiful transfer. This stars Nastasia Kinski, who was in One from the Heart and To the Devil a Daughter, two kind of classic films. Malcolm McDowell, who I'm a huge fan of, who was in A Clockwork Orange, you may know. He was in Halloween 1 and 2, the Rob Zombie version, as well as Rob Zombie's 31. So they have a working relationship, and he's in this film, a much younger Malcolm McDowell. A little bit of trivia. Apparently, director Paul Schrader regretted using the Cat People title after a negative reaction to this movie occurred, comparing it with the original Cat People from 1942. Which, I mean, if you're making a remake, a reimagining, a redo, or even if it's a soft reboot or a sequel, a lot of times it kind of benefits to have that in the title so people know kind of what you're getting into. So this It's a very kind of famous image there. And then you've got the original poster as well as the same information. You can flip the cover if you'd rather have that as your cover for this Blu-ray release. Next up, let's see, we're going to put that one off for just a minute. Let's set that to the side. Next up, we have what I would consider a sleeper serial killer film. Like if you've, chances are you probably haven't seen this, or if you have, you may not remember it. I don't know which, but everybody I talk to, they're like, what are you talking about? And then they watch it and they're like, holy crap. We're talking about 1993's California with a K. This is about a journalist duo who goes on a tour of serial killer murder sites with two companions, unaware that one of them is a serial killer himself. So Juliette Lewis and Brad Pitt are the two people that join up with David Duchovny and Michelle Forbes. Michelle Forbes and David Duchovny are the ones who are going on the tours to the sites. And they need some people to do driving, help with the costs, et cetera, to help them out. And so they hire Brad Pitt's character and his wife to come along with them, and things kind of go from there. So this is directed by Dominic Sena, who did Swordfish, Gone in 60 Seconds remake. Not a big fan of either one of those. But it stars Brad Pitt, who you may remember from his little tiny role in True Romance. Juliette Lewis, who you may remember her really giant role in Natural Born Killers. David Duchovny, who you may remember from the movie Evolution, as well as, of course, the X-Files franchise. And Michelle Forbes, who has done a ton of TV, but most people will know her from her role on Star Trek. So, a little bit of trivia. During the movie, Early Grace, who is Brad Pitt, sports a chipped tooth. Now, Brad Pitt visited a dentist to have the tooth chipped for the role. That is dedication, if you ask me, to the craft. And I've heard of other people doing things like that. Nicolas Cage, I'm looking at you. I couldn't do something like that. That's a little bit too far for a single role. But anyway, on the back, you've got information about the film. Of course, you got a nice little slipcase. Check that out. You have the same cover as the front of the slipcase. You've got the same back thing as the slipcase, which is fine. There we go. Inside, you have the theatrical and the unrated version of the film. Then if you pop the films out, the Blu-rays, then you've got the original movie poster and, again, the same back with the information about the film. This is a Shout Select edition of this release. And I have not watched this particular variation of the film. I've seen the film several times. I owned it in several different formats. Okay, so moving on here. Next up we have The Act from 2019. This was a limited series about, you'll know in a minute. This is about Dee Dee Blanchard, who is overprotected of her daughter, Gypsy, sound familiar, who tries to escape her toxic relationship with her mother. Gypsy's quest for independence opens up a Pandora's box of secrets that ultimately leads to murder. So this was created by Nick Antosca, who did an episode of Brand New Cherry Flavor, which is a horror anthology series. Michelle Dean, who has no other directorial credits. This stars Joey King, who is an up-and-comer who's done a lot of stuff, actually. Was most recently in Bullet Train, was also in Slender Man, and a bunch of other stuff recently as well. Slender Man was a bit further back. But and then stars Patricia Arquette, my favorite actress, who was in True Romance, Ed Wood, Boyhood, bunch of stuff. So some trivia. The real Gypsy Rose Blanchard was reportedly impressed with Joey King's portrayal of her, but unimpressed with the series overall. So this is, since I'm a Patricia Arquette fan, I try and collect all of her work. And so I, couldn't not get this. So it's 2 discs. I got a great deal on it because it has been out for a little bit. But if you've not seen it, it's fascinating. It's very well done. And there is a regular documentary about the whole thing that is available out there as well. So I would recommend checking that out after you've watched the film or before. Next up, we have The Flash from 2023. Divisive because of this gentleman here and his questionable behavior. Haven't seen this yet, but I didn't get it because of him. I got it because of another reason. So this is about Barry Allen, who uses super speed to change the past, but his attempt to save his family creates a world without superheroes, forcing him to race for his life in order to save the future. So it's a multiverse story, very popular thing the last several years. It's directed by Andy Muschietti, who you may remember from It Chapter 1 and the slightly less spectacular It Chapter 2. Chapter 1 is phenomenal, one of the best horror films in a long time that was mainstream. Chapter 2, not so much. So this stars Michael Shannon, who was in Take Shelter and The Shape of Water. This also stars Michael Keaton, which was the reason I bought it, who was in, of course, Beetlejuice. The sequel was also in Batman, the original 1989, hence why he's ended up in here. And Mr. Mom, which was a kind of a quintessential film of my childhood. So some trivia. Michael Keaton's original Batman suit was rather infamously restrictive, forcing him to move his entire body to look around because he couldn't move his neck. So for this movie, the costume designers created a more flexible suit that allowed for a greater range of motion. But when Keaton first tried it on, he insisted it made it more stiffer. So on the back, you've got some images from the film as well as a breakdown. Inside, you have the code, which will hold that off, and the 4K, no Blu-ray, just the download and the 4K. So I don't have a 4K player yet. It's on my list of things to get here. Actually, a region-free one would be even better. So I can't actually watch this unless I watch it streaming, which I believe it's on Max currently. All right, moving on. Next, we have Visual Vengeance release of Moonchild. This is from 1994. It's a shot-on-video film. In a dystopian future, Jacob Stryker participated in experiments to create a super soldier by fusing his DNA with a wolf. This is directed by Todd Sheets. Yes, the infamous Todd Sheets. Speaking of Moonchild, here's my Moonchild here of Shaggy, who also, Shaggy didn't direct this, but Todd Sheets directed Cloudnado and Chainsaw Tales. This stars Augie Alvarez, who was in Bloodthirsty Cannibal Demons and The Witching. Couldn't find any trivia out about this, but on the back you've got some information, special features and whatnot. Inside you have several things, actually. You've got the Blu-ray, which has a lovely wolf-looking character on there. You have the original motion picture soundtrack, and then you've got some original artwork as well as information about the film. So if you really like this, then you've got a lot of stuff to enjoy with this release. Honestly, I've not seen it yet. This is a blind buy. But with Visual Vengeance, you get nice stickers there. You've got just a very small little booklet with information about the film. And then you also get, as is typical with a lot of these kind of boutique labels, they like to give you something a little extra. You've got a copy of the poster, which is the cover of the Blu-ray, so I won't open that. I'll just stick it back in here. And sometimes I, will hang these up. This one I have not. I haven't seen the movie yet, so we'll have to see if I really love it or if it's just, something cool to have on the wall in the collection. Because I'm a Todd Sheets fan. We shall see. All right. Next, we have one of my all-time favorite directors, Paul Thomas Anderson. This is 2021's Licorice Pizza. I was debating whether I should wait for the 4K of it because I just love his film so much. But went ahead and pulled the trigger. So this is a story of Alana Kane and Gary Valentine, who are growing up, running around, and going through the treacherous navigation of first love in San Fernando Valley in 1973. Now, this film is a little bit... you'd have to see to understand why I'm making those noises. But it has some issues. So Paul Thomas Anderson is known for Boogie Nights and Magnolia, are probably the two things you most remember him for. On the back, you've got information about the movie, as well as special features and some shots. This stars Alana Haim, who is making a name for herself and is actually currently filming Paul Thomas Anderson's newest film with Leonardo DiCaprio, which is called The Battle of Bacton Cross. It's also listed on IMDb currently as, I think, the untitled P.T. Anderson film or something like that. Cooper Haim is in this, who was in Wildcats, Saturday Night, the Saturday Night Live biopic, and Old Guy. Now, Leonardo DiCaprio's father, George DiCaprio, portrays the man who sells Gary a waterbed in the film, as well as Cooper Hoffman, which that's the reason I wrote him up here. I wrote Cooper Haim, but I meant to write Cooper Hoffman. Oops, my bad. It's Alana Haim and Cooper Hoffman. He is the son of Philip Seymour Hoffman. So you've got some interesting people going on here. So on the cover there, you've got the Licorice Pizza cover. You've got the download, which we'll keep that out of sight. We have the DVD and then an alternate that you can flip and use if you would so be inclined. Then, as well as the download, the DVD, the Blu-ray, you also have a poster of the cover or this. So if you'd like to have a poster for your wall, there you go. All right, moving along. We have just a couple more to go. Next up, we have 2007's Hairspray. And right now you're like, Joel has Hairspray? I know I don't have hair, but that's... I love John Waters, and this movie goes beyond just being a musical. So if you've never seen it, definitely recommend it. This is about a teenager named Tracy Turnblad who teaches 1962 Baltimore a thing or two about integration after landing a spot on a local TV dance show, as well as, kind of that you can't judge a book by its cover. Is probably the best way to put that. So this was directed by Adam Shankman, who did The Wedding Planner and the Adam Sandler movie Bedtime Stories. This stars John Travolta as the Tracy Turnblad's mother. I can't think of her name, Edna Turnblad. And Christopher Walken plays her dad. So anyway, the trivia about this film, Michelle Pfeiffer and Christopher Walken were both cast at the request of John Travolta, which Michelle Pfeiffer is, you just have to see it to believe it. It's got great music, great cast, really great message, great story. It is, if you've ever seen like Pink Flamingos or Desperate Living, any of the kind of early John Waters, you may watch this and be like, that's not John Waters. And the original Hairspray was definitely John Waters. It kind of caught on as being something more than just what people typically think of John Waters being known for, which just proves that he is not a one-trick pony. The man is, I love John Waters. So I just picked up his book recently, which I mentioned, I think, earlier on this. I don't remember now. Seems like days ago since I started this video. His book, though, Pure Filth, that I just got at Maze Books from my friends Kim and Dave Pedersen. Anyway, if you've never seen this, it is worth your time. Go check it out. We're down to the last of it here. So next up, we have Spider-Man's Across the Spider-Verse for 2023, which during all the sales going on for Black Friday and whatnot, got a steal of a deal on this. So this is about Miles Morales as he catapults across the multiverse, where he encounters a team of spider people charged with protecting its very existence. When the heroes clash on how to handle a new threat, Miles must redefine what it means to be a hero. This film is as good as the original, in my opinion. So good. Absolutely need to check it out if you've not. This was directed by Joaquim Dos Santos, who did the very underrated G.I. Joe Resolute series, which lasted one season and was kind of a soft, hard something reboot of the G.I. Joe franchise. But it's like an anime style animated thing, and it was so good, and I wish they would have continued it. They did not, but it's out there. Go check it out. He also worked on The Legend of Korra, which if you love Avatar: The Last Airbender, I thought The Legend of Korra was phenomenal. I really connected with that series. It's just beautiful. As well as he did the new Spider-Verse films with Kemp Powers, who did Soul. You recognize that film. And Justin K. Thompson, who did this. And all three of them are working on the new Spider-Verse film, which is currently in production. So this stars one Shamik Moore, who was in the under the radar Dope. If you've not seen it, so good. And it's how I was introduced to Shamik Moore. I don't hear enough things about it. It's really good. And Samaritan, the the Sylvester Stallone superhero movie, which again was kind of under the radar, Amazon Prime direct thing. It's really well done. If you've not seen it, it takes kind of the superhero thing and twists it just enough that it feels like a totally different kind of thing. Check it out. So trivia, the various different versions of J. Jonah Jameson are all voiced by J.K. Simmons. You've got an image from the movie there, information about it. Ta-da! You've got the exact same things on both front and back. Inside, you have the phenomenal code that we will keep off to the side. And then you have the Blu-ray and the 4K. So I don't have to wait to watch it to have a 4K player. I mean, I know it's streaming places, but you know what I mean. But I'm very excited to have this. I have all the Spider-Man films so far, and so I had to have this one included. I really would love a really good release of the Japanese Spider-Man show. That'd be good. So if anybody out there has the rights to that, please get that done. All right, last things. I promise. This is it. We're done. Two things. Same person, very different things. So first up, we have Saturday Morning Sleepover Volume 8, Halloween Part 2. So this was done by Chris J. Seaver, who is a friend of mine and, well, online friends. We've communicated. Good guy. I love everything he's done. I'm a fan. Sneaky Raoul, if you're watching, this is the man behind the movie that you always credit me with whenever we do something together. Anyway, this is 8 hours of nonstop 80s and early 90s Halloween-themed TV shows, commercials, music videos, and oddities. There's only 25 of these that were made. I picked up my copy directly from him. So this is an actual event that's hosted by Chris in his home. It has been for over a decade now, where a select group of friends and family are brought together to watch this marathon, eat snacks, drink drinks, and eat lots of vintagey type junk food. So it's this is, like I said, is volume 8. So I have all the other volumes. They kicked it off with Halloween being the very first one they did, and then it's just kind of gone from there through different Saturday Morning Sleepover incarnations. You've got a little sheet, a little activity sheet there with information about the rules of the Saturday Morning Sleepover. Then you've got the disc with the jack-o'-lantern on it. I'm a Chris Seaver fan. I'm so excited to have everything that's been released so far. And this is the newest thing that's come out from Chris. This is Death-O'-Lantern, Corn on the Mac Cob from 2024, aka Death-O'-Lantern Part 3. There was the first 2 Death-O'-Lanterns, and there was Death-O'-Lantern the remake, and then now there's the official next chapter in the trilogy. I don't know the plot yet because I haven't watched it or read the back. I'm trying to keep myself so that when I watch it, it's for the first time. And this is directed by Chris Seaver, who did Wellsville Nights, the TV pilot that he's working on getting to be a full series, and the Weirdsies, which a lot of people know the Weirdsies. And I'll mention this, it's not in my notes, but Mulva Zombie Ass Kicker. It's kind of the one most people know him for. But he's got he's been doing this for a long time with Low Budget Pictures and Warlock Home Video. If you're not familiar, look him up on Facebook, Warlock Home Video, or Chris J. Seaver, or just look him up online. And there is a huge catalog of stuff. And there's even a documentary about him called Low Budget Heroes that I've talked about on this show before. It was a great documentary. So you've got your little card on the insert. It says this is part 3. And you've got the Blu-ray that says it's part 3 as well. Very excited. I love seeing what he does, and it always makes me happy and hits me in that sweet spot. That is it. We're done. If you'd like any questions answered, reach out to us on our Facebook page or contact at thenewlydeads.com. Feel free to go to our website at thenewlydeads.com. And other than that, just remember that tomorrow is not guaranteed, so don't forget to unbox your heart. We'll see you next time.
This will be done, you see, between the real and the unreal. The dead might be looking in. Halloween, the festival of Samhain. Happy Halloween.